Hey, Tony Gaskins here. Now back with a episode of Talks with Tony. Now, just a reminder: the first email I read may not be based on the title because I'm just kind of going through based on my time that I have, and so we should be able to get through one or two or three or four per video sometimes, and then sometimes the last one could end up taking up so much time. Hold on one second. My client writing me. Well, my client will be back to the office in 5 minutes. And my wife texts me, so I might have to table this conversation. But got this question. Hey Tony, I love your advice that you give, and I appreciate you trying to help people find love with godly values. So thank you for all you do. Anyway, I've been married for 18 years, and I feel that my relationship with my husband, for the most part, good. But he doesn't express his feelings or talk about our marriage through the years. I will ask about how he feels in our marriage and ask if there's anything he thinks that he needs. I feel like I answered this on another one. I feel like, yep, I sure did. She sent it twice. Y'all don't y'all send y'all question twice. Nah, just send it in there. I go in order. I'm gonna see it. Yeah, I ain't gonna do this video. I ain't gonna do this video. I ain't got the time. Cause this one here a little longer. It's a little longer. And I don't know if I could pause it and save it on here. Hmm. Good afternoon, Tony. I am a follower of your YouTube videos. Been for a long time. I watched your first video about being better husbands. I found it to be very, very excellent, very enlightening, and very knowledgeable. But of course, you know that for some people whose mindsets are not open, some information will get through and some information might even get twisted. But still, let me say that I am happy that you are a messenger with the right information and not the misleading information. I have a friend, well, somebody that I have been seeing for about 7 months. We do conduct ourselves with each other as if we are both single. However, he is not. He is married, have been for the past 10 to 12 years. I believe, if I remember, he has been separated physically from his wife for the past 5 years. I am God's daughter and the Lord's servant. I chose God and he chose me. I am always in meditation and conversation with him because I always need them every single day of my life. I will take accountability and responsibility for my sinful action of being involved with this man who did let me know that he was married. But in the 7 months that I have gotten to know him, I have fallen for him. Love, in love, and I like him. The three components of the formula. However, because of my religious background and beliefs, I know that it is wrong. Because I care for him so deeply, because I do love him, I want to see him happy. There's a lot of negativity between him and his wife. A lot. I believe they met when he was seeing other people, baby mamas and kids, and she was also seeing other people and coming out of marriage. But he married her and came to love her, or at least that's what he says. But I think that he does not know what it means to love a wife. I'm not sure if when he says that he loves her, he knows what he really means. I think it's more about insecurities and jealousy that he doesn't want her to be with anybody else. I've talked with him many times on very deep intellectual levels concerning his feelings about her in the marriage, but the main things that he always continues to talk about is how he stands so firmly about his belief in marriage, his religious beliefs in marriage. So maybe he believes in marriage so much that it is blinding him from being able to understand the person who he is married to. Our relation has a lot of struggle because of his marriage. He goes back and forth with a lot of emotional with a lot emotionally with me because he does not want to let me in fully. I know that a lot of women always say that they are good women, but I am really indeed a good woman because I walk in God with God because he is mine and I am his. God made me who I am and what I am. And I understand that my role slash purpose is in a relationship that is godly and healthy and strong. But honestly, Tony, I have a hurt slash pain in my heart because this man is not mine and can never be as long as he is married. He is very confused everywhere, distorted, and it is hard for him to decide what to do. He is not good at confronting issues, not good at recognizing the problems so that he can fix them. I'm sure that you can get the gist of the rest of this. As painful and as hurtful as it would be for me to ultimately have to let him go, I do want to see him happy. I want to see his life be better. And if that is with his wife, then that is what it is to be. But I would really like to help him get himself started on the right journey to recognizing the problem, admitting that there is a problem, and resolving the problem. How can I help him? Well, I'm gonna finish this up on a it's up in the front. Yep. I'm gonna finish this up in a probably a longer video at another time, but want to, want you to think about this because it's not really what you are thinking and saying and feeling on this situation, because it's one of those things of where what you are saying about God and how you feel about God, you don't actually have a real relationship with God, and God is not really real to you. Because if God is real to you, this what you're in would not be possible. So God is like a fairy, like a tooth fairy for you. He's like a genie in the bottle. He's not really like a physical being. Like God is not really like in the seat next to you and you walking with God. With the way you know God and are speaking of God, that God would make me feel okay to cheat on my wife as a married man, because there's no real conviction in what you are feeling. And to meet a married man and go past day one and he's separated, but it's like, do we really know he's separated? And one thing I want to help you understand about men is men know exactly what they want. They just don't want you. Is man is not confused. He's not confused. Like just like the single fornicating podcasters who try to sit on the podcast and act all delusional and confused and just so torn between this woman and that woman and what to do and this and that. They know exactly what they want, exactly who they are, and they want to be in fornication. They want to mess around. They want to do what they doing. So you got to realize and understand that they plan on you, and so you have to remove yourself. And you got to realize that you're playing yourself. And so if he has been separated from his wife for 5 years and he still doesn't want to assure you and be with you 100%, then that lets you know that he's playing you and you're not who he wants. Because 5 years of separation, I'm a married man. If I ain't lived with my wife for 5 years, I'm ready to move on. If I'm saying I'm moving on, especially if I'm dating another woman and I'm filing for that divorce. And it's like he obviously don't feel too strongly about marriage because, as you said, he met her when he was messing around, sleeping around, dealing with baby mamas, doing all this. And then he done ran off the woman, and now he dealing with you and about to run you off. So it's like he playing with you, he playing with her. He's not serious about marriage. So what he is saying, that's not adding up to what he doing. And so you have to realize that as well, and just come to the conclusion and understand that you playing yourself. And you say you want to see him happy. He You have nothing to do with his happiness. You can't bring him happiness being with him, and you leaving him won't make him happy. He's a miserable individual and he needs to find God for himself. He has to get to know God in order to find happiness. And unless he does that, he makes that decision to do that and live the way God instructs a man to live, he'll never have true happiness. So, what you have to do is find your own man and find your own happiness. And what you also have to realize, and I want every woman to understand this, is when a man is dealing with another woman in any capacity, you don't know that man. You're not falling in love with him. You falling in love with the perfect pieces of him that he's giving you. But even on top of that, you have to listen to what you're saying. And so what I want you to do when y'all send these emails in, after I give you some feedback on it, I want you to go back and I want you to read it again and then read it from my perspective and read it from a coach's perspective and pretend that this letter is coming from someone else. And so, just like you said, he is very confused, period. Then you said everywhere, period. Then you said distorted, period. And it is hard for him to decide what to do. He is not good at confronting issues, not good at recognizing the problem so that he can fix them. So, all of that right there lets you know, why would you want to be with that type of man if he's not good at any of those things? So, who are you actually in love with? But then also realize that if a man hasn't given you his whole heart, then you haven't fallen in love with him. You have fallen in love with the idea of love, and you're using him as a placeholder and a representation of love. But he hasn't given you enough for you to fall in love with him. So you are desperate and lonely, and this is filling a place in your life, and you have made this to represent real love, but it's not actually enough proof in the pudding for this to be real love. So, hey, think on that, and wish I could talk longer on it, but got meetings today and going back and forth. My son got practice in a few hours, and so God bless you. And again, shout out to my supporters for the boys program. The link is in the description. Thank you so much. I'm trying to get the approval to start us a YouTube channel so we could post some of the things we're doing, but we're at least gonna be posting different things on the foundation page on Instagram when it's up and launched. So God bless you, and we'll talk soon.